All right, time now for some sports news. Ira Tunde Balogun is standing by. Ira.
Yes, time indeed for some sports news. 5 distinguished Nigerian sports personalities have been honored for their contributions to the development of sports in the country. Choma Ajunwa, Richard Ihetu, popularly known as Dick Tiger, Michael Okpara, Monday Omogare, the most successful Paralympian, and Nigeria's most decorated footballer, Nwankwo Kanu, all received awards at the centenary event in Abuja to mark 100 years of Nigeria as an entity.
As the very first Nigerian individual Olympic gold medalist. Can I hear it for the women in the house? In Nigeria.
The federal government has approved 1.6 billion naira for the Super Eagles 2014 FIFA World Cup campaign. Media assistant to the sports minister, Julius Oguro, told Channels Television that the amount was approved as a special grant, which makes it separate from the budgetary allocation of the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, as contained in the 2014 national budget. A breakdown shows that the money will cover the team's participation in the finals of the competition and its training programs in the build-up to the event. And outside Nigeria's shores, Manchester City manager Manuel Pellegrini has been suspended for 3 Champions League games, one of which is a suspension following his outburst last week. Pellegrini was charged by UEFA for a violation of the general principles of conduct after he reacted to a 2-0 defeat in City's last 16 first-leg game against Barcelona by strongly criticizing the referee Jonas Eriksson. According to UEFA, Pellegrini may not communicate directly or indirectly with his players and technical staff during the game when he serves his suspension.
Dani Alves, it's 2-0 right at the end.
Well, that's all the sports news. The news at 10 continues shortly.
To the foreign scene now. 1 week after he was ousted, Ukraine's former president Viktor Yanukovych has made his first public appearance, holding a conference, that's a news conference, in Russia. Here's Cynthia Are with more.
The former Ukrainian president deems his ousters nothing but young neo-fascist thugs. Mr. Yanukovych was ousted last Saturday after a bloody crackdown on anti-government protesters. Tensions have risen since he stepped down, especially in the Russian-majority Crimea region, which largely supports Mr. Yanukovych. Ukraine accuses Russia of carrying out an armed invasion in Crimea by sending naval forces to occupy Sevastopol. In its defense, Moscow has denied the claims. Then, speaking of protests, security forces in Venezuela have used tear gas to break up a student demonstration in the capital, Caracas. Hundreds of protesters were demanding the release of fellow students detained during 2 weeks of unrest and have called for a fresh march on Sunday, March the 3rd. Plus, Uganda continues to count its losses following the signing of an anti-gay bill into law. The World Bank has postponed a $19 million loan to the largely conservative country. World Bank officials want to guarantee that projects which the loan is meant to support are not going to be adversely affected by the law. The loan was intended to boost Uganda's health services. And those are the top stories on the foreign scene.
Well, thanks a lot, Cynthia. And on entertainment news tonight, 428 movies across Africa start the race for the African Movies Academy Awards. Maya Ogundele has the details.
The African Academy Movie Awards has announced that a total number of 428 films have been screened ahead of the award nominations, which is expected to hold in South Africa soon. According to the Ahmed College of Screeners, 65 movies from the 428 entrants have successfully been shortlisted for the final screening phase, which will commence shortly. Well, Afrobeat legend Dede Mabiako, award-winning singer Dario Arabe, and Nigerian-German singer and songwriter Nneka Egbuna have been announced as judges for the Nigerian Idol reality talent hunt show. The show, which is returning video Rhymes as host for the third time, has swapped all its previous judges, which included Femi Kuti, Yinka David, and Jeffrey Daniels, for this new bunch. It is still unclear why the old judges were dropped. Frontline gospel artist Samuel Kosa has launched a non-governmental organization which is aimed at aligning young Nigerians with credible national leaders for mentorship. The singer believes the NGO, which is called Follow the Leader, will create a distinct platform for enlightenment and education for the people to help them identify the traits that make them good leaders. Now to new movies. Veteran filmmaker Chika Ejiro is back in the news as he gets set to release his new flick When Dreams Fall Apart, starring Uche Jumbo, Vincent Okoye, Emmanuel Mensah, Maureen Okoko, and Nonso Ojogo.
I'm not doing anything with this murderer who came from nowhere to ruin my life.
The movie is a story of child abuse and child trafficking and showcases the pain that children go through in the hands of guardians who promise them a good life in the city before taking them away from their parents in the village. Now on the foreign scene, the director of Oscar-nominated Indonesian chilling documentary about one of the worst massacres since World War II, Act of Killing, has revealed that he is scared for his life and will not be making a public appearance at the event. In a sign of how sensitive the topic remains, the Indonesian co-producer of the documentary and the other Indonesian members of the film crew say they do not want their names to be made public. The documentary centers on the darkest period of Indonesia's already violent early years, which cost at least 500,000 people their lives. Well, that's it on entertainment. Let's get back to the news.
Thanks a lot, Myra. And the main news again. Nigeria's past and current heroes were today honored by President Goodluck Jonathan for their contribution to the development of the country. The Adamawa State Governor Murtala Nyako today ended his visit to Shura village abruptly following gunshots in the town, just as the survivor of the Yobe school attack painted a vivid picture of the incident. The Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has advocated elimination of corruption in Nigeria and urged the country's leaders to look beyond crude oil revenue. And Ghana's health minister has given a hospital in Kumasi 14 days to produce the bodies of live babies allegedly declared stillborn. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks a lot for staying with us. To enjoy your weekend. I'm Ijoma Benyata, and have a good night.